Hello, friends. It's the
Hello.
Cinemondo podcast. You know, I like science fiction, and one of the first science fiction books that ever really sort of blew my mind was this book. It's
Mm,
and it's this actual book.
it's a
I've had
classic.
this since I was in high school, and I've read it maybe 5 times. Love this book, and have always been fascinated by attempts to bring this to the movies. I remember, long ago when David Lynch tried to do it, and I love David Lynch, and
Hmm.
I wanted so badly to love the movie, and I did love the movie for the weirdness of it, but I felt like it's not really Dune.
Yeah.
It's something else. It's a David Lynch movie.
Yeah. True.
But then Denis Villeneuve took over this idea of bringing an unfilmable epic like this,
Yes.
and had doubts, but I like his movies too. And
Mhm.
and um, I loved the first one, and I loved the second one, and I'm prepared to love the third one.
I think you probably will. Well, he's really good at making things epic that need to be epic.
Yes,
I mean, this is not, he's done a few sci-fi movies that have just been, yes, that is what you need.
yeah,
Definitely. So let's take a
it's the
look at
kind of science
Ryan.
fiction that I like. I like thoughtful science fiction.
Yeah.
Things like The Arrival that he did was
So
so beautifully done, and it
good.
and
Yeah.
it had the story revolved around an aspect of science fiction that I think
Hmm.
is probably my favorite thing, is what would we do if aliens showed up and they
Hmm.
were so different from us that the story becomes, how do we relate to them, and
Yes.
not just how do we communicate, how do we say hi,
Yeah.
we mean you no harm, but how do you relate to them,
Hmm.
having brains that evolved on a different planet
Yeah.
when we can barely even relate to people from other countries on our own planet.
Exactly. So that's what's so fascinating about these is that
Yeah,
we get a deeper sense of the science and the epicness that he can bring to it, and not just this glossy kind of overview that a lot of sci-fi movies are that can be fun, but sometimes you just want something smarter and deeper. And I think that's what
yeah.
Denis Villeneuve has brought to these movies. So I'm very interested in seeing how 3 is going to look. Let's take
And
a
Dune is
look.
such a hard one to take on, because it's the way it's written is in epic form. It takes place there's vast concepts
Right.
in the story that are kind of mind blowing. I remember a couple of times reading the book and getting to a certain point and just going like, close the book, think about that for a while, let it
Right.
sink in. And he manages to do that in the film in a way, in shorthand, which makes you sort of gives you a concept of these deep time processes and things in a way that makes it work without having to dwell on it for 6 hours. And
That's right.
anyway,
Okay, so this is Dune 3.
Dune
Directed by
3.
Denis Villeneuve, who's done the past two. Screenplay by Denis Villeneuve and Brian K. Vaughan. Based on Dune Messiah by Frank Herbert. Timothée Chalamet reprising his role as Paul. Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Florence Pugh, Rebecca Ferguson, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlotte Rampling, Robert Pattinson, Javier Bardem. Packed with good actors. So
Yeah,
let's
with
take
people
a
that
look.
yeah, people that have a gravitas,
Yeah.
that
I
kind
mean,
of Rebecca Ferguson is always
mhm.
so there's something about her, I don't know.
I know. I love
And
her in Silo. If you haven't seen that,
yes,
it's another great sci-fi thing to watch. So, all right, let's
yeah,
look at this. I'm dying to see it. Okay,
let's take a look.
let's see it.
It's and also what they're saying, the epic conclusion to the Dune saga is how they're
Yes.
they're phrasing it. Interesting.
Okay, they're gonna bring it full circle. Let's see what happens. All right.
And hold the work.
I trusted you!
Whoa.
You promised me that you would never take power in your name. You convinced me that this was your home. That I was your home.
What do you know about me?
I like listening.
You have conquered the galaxy. You've destroyed thousands of worlds.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think you're way beyond redemption.
Why are you here?
To deliver a peace proposal.
Peace is a good thing. Why should I refuse?
Whoa.
Because it's meant to destroy you.
We plan to strike at the core of Imperial power.
You intend to kill Paul?
Regime change.
Oh, really?
Idiot. You've just signed our death warrants.
I found someone. The future has a way of talking to me. I can't see what's ahead.
How does it feel to be human like everyone else, Paul Atreides?
Oh.
You have no fear, do you?
I fear dishonor.
You sound like an Atreides.
I've been told I was one.
Forgive me for all I've done.
Kind of chills from that. That was heavy duty.
Yeah, looks
Yikes.
intense.
Looks really intense. I love the idea that he's coming to terms with the fact he can't really see the future, and that he is like, or anything, and that he has been a fraud, and he has to pay the
Yeah.
price. I love that, and everybody's like kind of figuring it out, like, I think you need to go away.
That's one of the things I loved about this book is when I was younger, I felt so smart reading it. You know, it's one of those books that when I read it, there's a few other books like that when I read it and I felt like I, in my young way, understood it. It made me feel really smart because I was interpreting things in the book and in the story. I mean, the basis of the story, Frank Herbert was telling very beautifully, are some pretty heavy things that you don't normally see in this sort of pulpy science fiction.
Yeah.
As much as I love Star Wars, Luke Skywalker is a good guy all the way through the movie.
Oh,
He's a
very
good
easy.
guy, and
Yeah, you
love
know
him.
where alliances are. It's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this one, you like Paul at the beginning of it. You think, I love how they make him this sort of unpretentious, unassuming, wide-eyed young guy trying to understand and trying to be a good son to his father and all this. And the idea that power corrupts, you know, and that if you and also people believing the hype about themselves when you have, if you surround yourself by people who are literally worshiping you, and all these, you know, when you think about cult leaders and things like that, and people that felt like all these people around them on their knees, and they're thinking, you know what, maybe I am a god, you know, because how could all these people be wrong, you know? And those kind of questions and those kind of ideas, I think, I love it when the rug is yanked out from under you in a story when you're reading it and you suddenly realize, wow. And you know, I felt that way years ago with Blade Runner too, where you're watching it and you're thinking, oh, he's got to kill those replicants and he's going out and killing these bad replicants. And then you take another look at that story and you realize it takes hours of grueling testing with the Voight-Kampff machine to determine whether or not this is a human or a replicant. You can't do it biologically, and you have to go in deep dive into this person's psyche and find little altered weirdnesses in their empathy. And it's like, basically they're human. They're humans.
So why do we even have to have a distinction between like, it's like, and that's the thing that's so creepy about it. It's like, who are you to decide?
And these people who are created to be workers, they're basically they're slaves.
Yeah.
These are the movie Blade Runner is about escaped slaves being tracked down by the slave owners,
That's right.
using another slave, evidently,
Oh,
to track them down and kill
right.
them. And they're using this other slave under threat. You know, they're threatening him, saying, "Go out and kill these escaped slaves."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Whoa!" The whole movie, and that's the way it is with Dune. I think you watch it and you're like, "Go, Paul! Yeah, lead
Yeah,
the
Paul, you're the hero.
become the emperor, become the dictator. That's what we want."
Yeah, we need dictators out here. It's like the oil. I mean the spice. I mean,
Yeah,
so yeah, there's definitely a lot of that.
yeah,
And that's what makes it so complicated and cool. And so, your loyalties are still with Zendaya and Paul. You want them to, work it out, but it doesn't look like neither of them is really kind of getting what they kind of planned for. So I kind
well,
of
she's
like
the
that
good
idea.
in this.
She
In
is
the
definitely
story,
the
she
good.
is the
She
good.
wasn't the leader, but she's like connected to him now. They're
Right.
having a child. So now it's like that makes her leader adjacent. And so what's her role now? Like if she doesn't believe in him either, it's like
To
so-
me, in the story, I remember reading them and thinking, and in some aspects of the story, she was always kind of like the nature spirit,
yeah,
and then there's other people who are like the mechanized technology spirit,
Yeah.
and then other characters who are like the religion supernatural spirit. It had all these different aspects, and all those things kind of weave together, and you kind of find there's so much I could go on and on, but that's what I love about the stories, is that they are more complicated than they appear to be at first. And I think that's what I love about Denis Villeneuve's treatment of the story. He understands that, and he's tried to get it on film. And I think the other aspect of it is the strangeness of the visual landscape in there. It doesn't look like a typical science fiction movie. There's so many things in it that just look matter of fact. Like you don't get a giant close up of the flying car and a beauty shot of it taking off.
That's
It
true.
just exists, and the door is open and somebody gets in and they fly away. And it's
Yeah.
the world is so well built, this future world. And the first two films too, there are spaceships that land. You don't even see them. They're like big silhouettes. All you see is a light.
Yeah.
And you see this bulk, that you feel the mass of this thing landing, but you don't get a good beauty shot of it.
No, it's just the world you're living in. It's like we
It's
don't
the
look at
world.
everything. Like you don't really
Right.
look at your car before you get in it. You don't really check out that building you're about to walk into. So it's just sort of like you said, this matter of factness. It's just the world they live in. It's their environment. Nothing special about it. They do it every day. Like I
Yeah.
like that kind of lived in look. And Denis Villeneuve is really good at that. Like he
Yeah.
makes stuff feel like people exist in this world and they're here, and there's nothing special about it. It's just the world they live in.
To them, it's their world.
Yeah.
It's their daily world. So
I
why
love
would they be amazed by,
Yeah.
why would they look at their weapon and show a close up and explain how it works,
That's right.
and why, and if a spaceship lands at night, why would anybody need to see it? It's like,
Exactly.
it's like somebody driving up in front of your house. You don't have spotlights on the car and showing the car. It's like, it's in the dark. They drive up in front of your house in the dark, and they get out of it and they come into your house. It's like,
So this movie doesn't come out until December. So
Right.
they're saving it for the holiday release, which is when all the big ones come out. And that's also when Oscar voters remember
Yes.
them. So they always back up. Every studio takes the movie they think is their best movie. And
Yeah.
hopefully biggest movie. And they kind of jam them there toward the end of the year during the holiday season. And that way also people are on vacation sometimes, or visiting family, they go to movies. So everyone's hoping you get a little box office boost by that. So the fact it's coming out December 18th, that's a nice long weekend for Dune 3.
Yes.
Yes,
And
it
I
is.
think a lot of people, I think the first two films are very well received.
Yeah.
I'm a big science fiction nerd, and I know a bunch of science fiction nerds, and all the cool science fiction nerds I know really
Are there
like
any?
them.
I don't
Of
know.
cour- Well,
Cool science fiction. Okay, go ahead.
cool in my opinion. But I mean, there are the internet complainers that were like, "Oh, it doesn't exactly conform to my personal beliefs."
It's
And
conforming to Denis
it's-
Villeneuve's beliefs, and that's all.
Yeah.
That matters. That's his art. So you just deal with it.
the book still has not disappeared from my bookshelf. It still exists in its original form. And
They're doing a serious, big budget representation of these books. I don't think we're going to get much better than this. I mean,
yeah,
any little quibbles people have, Just let it go.
Yeah.
It's fiction. It's
Deal
okay.
with it and wait for somebody else to make
Deal.
another adaptation. You know,
And
there was
good luck.
another one on Sci-Fi Channel that was a series, a Dune series that people don't really talk about. They talk about the David Lynch movie a little bit, but then they kind of skip over that, which kind of understandable. But
Yeah.
this one I think has really taken it to closer to this
Yes.
than a lot of films get to their
That's right.
source material.
So I guess movie's also coming out the same time that Avengers Doomsday is coming out.
Okay.
Everybody's all upset because you can only go to one movie.
Right.
So there's no way somebody can go see Dune and then go see Avengers. So they need to pick one.
Yeah.
I don't know why people get so upset about that. We can see, and it's going to be the holiday. There'll be plenty of time for everybody to go see these movies.
Right. Remember Barbieheimer or whatever it was called?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Oh no, we have to either see Barbie or Oppenheimer."
And they were so different.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even the same audience. But this one I could see them being kind of the same audience. You know, kind of sci-fi superhero, you know, big scale entertainment. But
what are people gonna call it? Dune Vengers? I don't know.
I don't like when they turn
Doomsday.
I don't like when they drive them into like a horse race. They try to make it like it's a race, and that somehow box office returns are somehow an indicator of quality. No,
Yeah,
not.
I
even
do
close.
hate that in reviews where people say, "Well, the box office was." In other words, that's what you should judge it on.
It's like, well, this bombed. So. It's like, well, you know what? It's like movies that bomb sometimes are the big Oscar winners, and they bomb. What does that even mean anymore?
Yeah, I mean. Some of my favorite movies bombed. You know, John Carpenter's The Thing, and you know that was like, I guess, from what I remember, a disappointment at the box office.
Wow. Well, you know, One Battle After Another. Everybody's talking about how slow the box office was. It was good for Paul Thomas Anderson, but everybody's like, "Oh, it wasn't the big movie they thought," but it kept making money, Then it ended up being Best Picture. So, who knows? Sometimes quality is not dictated by the amount of people that go to the movies.
And he'll probably direct other films.
I think he'd be fine. Now he's got a big Oscar sitting on his mantle.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, this looks really interesting. I think it's really good. I'm anxious to see how they're going to kind of bring this to its conclusion.
Yeah, interesting characters.
You watch these movies, you feel like they're kind of open-ended because there's 3 parts. So there's always a little like, but now we're going to see it and it's going to be the end. So I'm anxious to see that.
And
I mean, not the end of the books, just the end of the series of movies.
Not the end of all the books, but I think a lot of people who read the books kind of feel like this is kind of the ending. This is kind of where it should end.
This is the Paul arc that we're all waiting for, in a way, besides the worm arc. We'll keep it here.
We get a bunch of interesting characters in this. We get Robert Pattinson's character.
He's really cool.
Yeah, interesting how I'm interested to see how they depict his abilities in the film. And also Duncan Idaho is back as a kind of reanimated Gola named Hate. And also Paul's sister Ilea is in this one, and several others. Everybody, one of the things people talk about is, will we see a third stage guild navigator finally?
Will we?
I don't know. There was some things in this that looked like a sarcophagus kind of coming out of a spaceship, and then there was a sarcophagus floating in the background, and Robert Pattinson
appeared and disappeared. It was really weird.
I think that's a guild navigator, because there's a scene in the book where Robert Pattinson's character interacts with the guild navigators, and they have the monopoly on space flight and all this other stuff. And
interesting.
He's a Tlilaxian, Robert.
What do you out there think? You think you think we saw it? You think that was it? Or do you think we're not going to see it? And how do you think it's going to end?
I think I'm gonna just say, I think that's how Denis Villeneuve has chosen to show a third, a late stage guild navigator, and we may see a face in there because I feel like that container is a spice container. In the David Lynch one, it was like this big mobile corridor that comes in like a fish tank, and the thing floats through the spice, and you do not see me. I am not here.
I'm invisible.
We have just returned from Ix. Many machines on Ix. Many new machines.
What do you guys think? Let us know what you think. That was very scary. I like all the allusions to David Lynch. I miss him so much.
I know. And go back and watch that David Lynch version of it. it is not bad. It's just strange. It has David
does.
Lynchness to
Look
it.
at it as a David Lynch movie, not a Dune movie. Then you probably will like it.
The production design is beautiful, and it's
It wasn't a great fit for him, but he tried. He swung for it, and it didn't really quite work. But hey, at least it's another David Lynch movie we have on our hands. So
there's a
I'll
big
take it.
fat book that big talking about the production of that film
Can
that
always
is
check it out.
fascinating. The
Good.
guy went through so much. I'm surprised he
I'm
ever made
sure.
another film after that horrible experience.
All right, you guys, let us know what you think of Dune 3 trailer 3, I think it is. And there'll probably be more because this isn't out till December. So I'm assuming we'll have a few more of these. So
We may, yeah.
let us know what you think. All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.